Welcome to Beyond the Scarlet Moon, where the shadows of the season come alive. Tonight, we have a tale that blends the chilling silence of winter with the mysteries of the unknown. Christmas may be a time for joy and family, but in the vast, haunted Pine Barrens, it becomes something far darker. Settle in, turn the lights down low, and prepare for this unsettling story. It was Christmas Eve, 1995, when the Haines family, Mark, his wife Sarah, and their two children, 10-year-old Anna and 7-year-old Jacob, piled into their old station wagon. They were headed to Sarah's parents' home in upstate New Jersey for the holidays. It was meant to be a night of festive cheer, a family reunion complete with hot cocoa, laughter, and warm lights glowing through frosted windows. But instead, it became the stuff of nightmares. The Haines family decided to take a shortcut through the Pine Barrens, a sprawling, densely wooded area covering over 1 million acres. The Barrens are infamous for their eerie atmosphere and long history of strange occurrences, from ghostly sightings to reports of a creature known only as the Jersey Devil. But the Haines family wasn't interested in legends or folklore. They were focused on saving time and getting to their destination before the snowstorm rolling in grew worse. As night fell, the snow began to come down heavier. Mark gripped the steering wheel tightly as the car's headlights illuminated the narrow, desolate road ahead. Towering pines loomed on either side, their dark branches sagging under the weight of the snow. Sarah glanced at the map in her lap, squinting at the faint ink marks in the dim light.
"Are we even on the right road?"
she asked, her voice tense. "I think so," Mark replied, though his uncertainty was evident. "This has to connect to the highway eventually." The children, bundled up in the back seat, had grown quiet. Anna stared out the window, her breath fogging up the glass, while Jacob clutched his favorite toy, a small stuffed bear with a red bow. And then it happened. Without warning, the car's engine sputtered and died, the headlights flickering out. The Haines family was plunged into darkness, the only sound the relentless wind howling through the trees. Mark tried turning the key in the ignition, but the car wouldn't start.
"What's wrong?"
Sarah asked, panic creeping into her voice. "I don't know," Mark muttered, fumbling with the controls. "It's like the battery just died." The temperature inside the car dropped quickly. Sarah wrapped her arms around the children, trying to keep them warm.
"We can't stay here. It's freezing."
Mark grabbed a flashlight from the glove compartment and stepped out into the snow. The beam of light barely penetrated the darkness, revealing nothing but an endless expanse of white and shadow. That's when they heard it. A faint knocking sound echoed through the forest, slow and deliberate, as if someone or something was rapping on a tree trunk. It came from deep within the woods, yet it felt unnervingly close. Mark froze, his breath visible in the frigid air.
"Did you hear that?"
Sarah whispered from inside the car. Before Mark could respond, the knocking stopped, replaced by a new sound, the faint crunch of footsteps on snow. They were deliberate, measured, and moving toward the car. The children began to cry softly, and Sarah's eyes darted between the frosted windows, desperate to see what was out there.
Mark, get back in the car.
But Mark didn't move. His flashlight flickered, the weak beam dancing across the trees. For a moment, it landed on something, a figure standing impossibly still between two pines. It was tall and shrouded in what looked like tattered cloth, its face obscured. And then it was gone. No sound, no movement, just gone. Mark scrambled back into the car, slamming the door shut. "I think we need to stay inside," he said, his voice shaking. Sarah began to dial her parents on the car phone, her hands trembling. The line connected, and for a brief moment, relief washed over her.
Mom? Mom, we're stuck. The car broke down and...
She trailed off, her voice faltering. From the other end of the line came a distorted, crackling voice. It wasn't her mother. The words were unintelligible, but the tone was low and guttural. Suddenly, the line went dead. The family sat in silence, the air thick with dread. Minutes felt like hours, and then came the final blow, a sharp, thunderous bang against the back of the car. The vehicle shook violently, as though something massive had struck it. Mark shone the flashlight out the rear window, but there was nothing there, just the swirling snow.
We need to leave. We can't stay here.
Mark nodded reluctantly. Wrapping the children in blankets, they stepped out into the snow, the cold biting at their faces. Mark led the way, flashlight in hand, as they trudged toward what they hoped was the direction of the highway. The forest seemed to close in around them, the trees pressing closer with each step. The wind carried strange sounds, whispers, laughter, and faint cries for help. And then Jacob stopped.
What is it, sweetheart?
Sarah asked, kneeling down to his level. Jacob pointed ahead, his wide eyes filled with fear.
They're here.
Mark swung the flashlight forward, the beam landing on a circle of figures standing silently in the snow. They were dressed in tattered clothing, their faces pale and eyes hollow. They didn't move, didn't speak. And then, as one, they raised their hands and pointed at the family. The flashlight flickered and went out. By morning, the Haines family's car was discovered abandoned on the side of the road. The doors were open, their belongings untouched. A single set of footprints led into the forest, but after 50 yards, they stopped abruptly. Search parties combed the area for weeks, but found no trace of the family. What they did find, however, sent chills through the investigators. Deep in the woods, they discovered a clearing. In the center was a circle of pine branches arranged meticulously around a small, stuffed bear with a red bow. Nearby, claw marks marred the trees, reaching heights no human or animal could achieve. To this day, the Haines family's disappearance remains unsolved. Locals warn against traveling through the Pine Barrens on Christmas Eve for fear of encountering the ghostly visitors who haunt its snowy expanse. Some say they hear whispers and laughter in the wind, while others claim to see shadowy figures standing silently among the trees. But one thing is certain. If you find yourself lost in the barrens on a winter's night, don't stop. And whatever you do, don't follow the footprints. Thank you for joining me tonight on Beyond the Scarlet Moon. The holidays may be a time of light and laughter, but the darkness always finds a way to creep in. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more tales that haunt the season. Until next time, stay curious and beware the shadows beyond the glow of your Christmas lights.